Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Back again with another video, and I just want to tell you today, share or pour out into you from my experience of being in uni on how to succeed in mathematics. And this is something which I wish I had been doing since I started. I know for sure if I had done this, then definitely I'd be on my way to summer or magna cum laude. If you don't know what that means, search it up. It's worth looking up. But anyway, without further ado, let me just tell you how to succeed in mathematics or in calculus. And if you're in high school, you can apply these tips. If you're in uni, you can apply these tips. My math module is called Math 01B1. So I'd like to make the video how to succeed in Math 01B1, but this applies to maths in general, right? So I was at first year orientation, and I was in the math department, like it was the math department presentations, right? And there were there were almost 1,000 of us in there. There's so many of us who are doing math or some variation of it, and yeah, or some variation of it in the first years. But there were like nearly 1,000 of us. And then this lady, I really want to say her name, but I'm afraid to say it. But we'll just call her Wilmar, all right? if you know me and you're around here, you know whose name that is. But we'll call her Wilma, Dr. Wilma, right? Dr. Wilma had the best presentation there. She walked up, she told us all to stand up. Then she told us to shake our bodies around because like we'd been sitting there the whole time just listening to these people talk, and she figured that we might be bored. And that's a key aspect, being bored. Then she told us stand up, shake around, now sit down. And what I really liked about Doctor was that she knew how to command an audience. And you know me, I'm a public speaker and I really pay attention to these type of things, but she really knew how to command an audience and get you engaged. So already from the get-go, we're engaged. Then immediately she said, you're not going to be able to use calculators in this module. So if you have a calculator, throw it away. Obviously, I'm not going to throw it away because I'm taking stats and you use calculators there, but we're not using calculators, and that shocked us because throughout high school, I've been using a calculator since I was like 14. In fact, the last time I did maths before this, right, the last time I had done maths without a calculator was when I was 15 or 16. But like you know, at O levels you use calculators, and then A level you use calculators. Anyway, so then she comes and then she says, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that will stop you from doing well in maths is this. And it's statistically proven that this is the only thing that can actually stop you from doing well in math. Now it hit me. She said, take out your phones and put them away somewhere I can't see them. Put them face down on your desk, or just like put them face down on your chair. I don't want to see that thing, because that's the only reason why you could actually fail math. And it hit me that at that point that's the only reason that I could actually fail math. And the truth is, whenever I've actually underperformed in academics, it's always because of that phone. Because mathematics needs attention, but so do social media influences. So take it like this. If you have a certain amount of money in your bank, right? And let's say you've got like $300, right? You've got $300, $300 in your bank. And you have to decide whether you'll buy a console, an Xbox with that, or some video games, right? Or you'll buy a bunch of books, self-development books, like 48 Laws of Power, The Power of Habit, all of those. If you spend too much buying consoles and games, you won't have enough to buy as many books. You'll still have some to buy some books. Say you spend 200 USD and you buy like a console, or you buy the video games. You only have 100 left to buy these self-development books, and you won't be able to buy all of them. But if you spend the whole 300 on your self-development books, you won't buy console, but you'll have all of this. You will have invested in. And it's the same thing with mathematics and our time and social media. You know, you've got a certain amount of time to study. You don't have unlimited time to study. You've got a certain amount of time. And if you waste that time spending it on the phone, you won't have enough left to practice as much maths as you can or to spend it on maths. That is the number one reason why people fail mathematics. That is my conclusion. The phone, being distracted, because mathematics needs a lot of practice. It's not a subject where the night before, after decades of procrastination, the night before you're just gonna hammer it down. And the truth is, there are some subjects where you can actually do that and pass with a distinction, get off scot-free. But mathematics is not one of them. Mathematics requires daily, consistent practice. So that's my first tip on how to succeed in mathematics. Make sure you understand where is your time going and pour out more of your time into mathematics on a daily, as often as you can. These days, my habit is I now record the amount of hours I spend in mathematics each day, and not even just like learning the concept, but practicing actual questions. I record the amount of time, and if I see that I've actually practiced, like the amount of time that I've practiced mathematics for is not high enough, I'll know that I need an improvement. Where's my time going? I need to pour more time into mathematics. So you have to give it time. That's the biggest thing, and that is something that people don't want to hear. You want to hear some secret formula that, oh no, you have to look at this YouTube channel, you have to do. No. The first thing is pour time into mathematics. Pour time into practicing questions. Alright, that's the only way you're gonna learn. And the thing with mathematics is you can know a concept, but there's gonna be that one question which will throw you off, which will need higher levels of thinking. And if you have not poured in enough time, you're not gonna have enough money, time, to spend in that concept before your test. That's the first thing. The second thing is something I wish I'd been doing since day one. I think I would have like really excelled a lot better. But don't spend too much time on one question. All right? Don't spend too much time on one question. I have a rule that if I spend 15 minutes on one question, that is already too much time. I have to move on. Now, work with answers. I'm really structuring this tip in a very terrible way. Please forgive me, but bear with me, all right? Because this is so important. And I just feel like I've figured it out. Work with answers, right? Work with answers. The biggest problem is we don't have time. We don't have time. Even if you're going to be diligent and pour your time into mathematics, it's still possible that you won't do so well because you've tackled it the wrong way. I remember for my second semester test last semester, I did so much mathematics. I poured in so much time, but I still didn't get the grade I wanted. I passed, but I didn't get the mark I wanted. And I was starting to think, what was wrong? What went wrong? And I figured it out. I didn't do enough problem questions or enough trick questions. You have to do the trick questions in mathematics. There's always going to be the generic questions, which are like really simple and straightforward, and you can do those in a flash. But there's always going to be that one question which will just throw you off, and it needs like a higher level of thinking. Now, when you're in your study session, let's say you've dedicated the next 2 hours to do mathematics, you're going to have a whole bunch of problems. And you're going to come across, maybe the first question, you're going to zoom through it, you're going to do it, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Second question, oh yeah, this is too easy, man, give me a challenge. Third question, maths is like, yeah, I'll give you a challenge. And then you get stuck. You don't want to stay stuck for too long. You don't want to spend 30 minutes on one question, because that'll mean that it'll take you 10 hours to do like 20 questions, right? And 20 questions is 10 hours is very inefficient, and it's not practical. You can't spend 10 hours in maths. You've got other modules to worry about, and you've got a life also, right? So you don't want to spend too much time on one question, so you need to work with answers. What do I mean by that? Use all the resources that you can to get the answer as quickly as possible if you can't find the answer to a particular problem. So allow me a moment to expand on this, because this is so important, and I just wish I had figured this out sooner. I would have had a much easier time with mathematics, right? So this is how you do it. When you, in fact, I can just use my marker. Don't mind my top of my fridge. Don't mind that. You don't see that. Anyway, So let's say you've got a bunch of questions to do, right? Let's say you've got like 10 problems, right? You've set aside some time and you said, like, I need to solve these 10 problems, right? So this is just an example, okay? So please don't look too much into the details, and this is like terrible. It's just for illustration purposes. So you've got 10 problems that you need to solve, all right? And you've given yourself 2 hours, all right? Again, it's just an example. 2 hours to go through all these 10 examples. Now, theoretically speaking, you might only be able to do 5 or 4 of these problems without seeking help or without getting stuck. But you don't know which ones they are. You have to try them to know which ones you struggle with and which ones you don't. There are going to be, if you've done your studying and if you've attended your lectures and you know the concept, right? Because that's the most important part, right? I actually skipped that bit. You have to make sure you know the concept first, all right? Know the concept first. Read the textbook, go over the examples, watch videos on how to do it, right? So let's say you want to learn how to do integration by parts. Learn how to do integration by parts. That's the first step. This is the practice phase, all right? So math has 2 phases. There's this phase where you're actually studying the concept, and then there's the phase where you actually practice it, all right? And there's practice while studying. That I don't count practice. That's actually just learning. You're studying it. But then you also need to practice on lots of questions, that same concept, because these questions are gonna they're gonna be different, all right? So what you want to do after I might make another video on the studying process, because that's a different part. This is the practice part, okay? So yeah, you know the concept, you know integration by parts, and there's 10 problems that require you to use integration by parts to solve them. These problems are going to take you presumably 2 hours, all right? 2 hours to solve. Or maybe I'm just slow, maybe 1 hour 30 minutes, or maybe 1 hour 20 minutes, but we'll work at 2 hours now, right? Say that I have these 2 hours for the day, you're going to solve these 10 problems. You might only be able to know how to do 4 of them, but you don't know which of the 4 you can actually do alone, right? Without doing a little extra thinking. So you want to get through those ones which you can do as quickly as possible first, all right? So you do them. You go on question 1. You do that question, right? Boom. You get the answer, and then you look at the answer. You make sure you have the answer for this problem. If you don't, then we use our tools and our resources. If you don't have the answer, so most textbooks will have the answers for like the odd number questions, right? So that's the thing. You have to have a textbook, right? Or let's say like they've uploaded slides on the tutorial questions and there's the answers for the questions. Use those answers, but make sure you have the answers. We work with answers, all right? So you have this problem and you have the answer. You want to work this problem and get the answer, right? You work it and you get the answer. If you don't have the answer, then we use a couple of tools, and I'm now revealing them, I'm now exposing them, but you all should know these if you're going to do maths. We have something called Symbolab, and I'm now showing you a bunch of my apps. That app is called Symbolab. So what you do in that app is you can take a picture of the question and it will give you the answer, and it'll give you the steps also, right? So it's simple to use. Look at that app. So basically just take a picture of the question and it'll give you the answer. Or you can even just type out the question. You can type it out and then it'll still give you the answer, right? So that's a way you can get answers if you don't have answers. So this step is very important. Or you can also use an app called Photomath. This one I found it out when I was in my final or year of high school, around about there. It's the same concept. Take a picture, except this one you can't. I don't think you can type it out. Oh yeah, you can type out a math problem. In fact, yeah. So you can use Photolab, Symbolab, or Photomath. All right. Use those apps, get the answer, and then work towards it without looking at the answer. Verify if your answer is correct. If your answer is correct, boom, you know that concept. All right. Perfecto. Right. We move on to the next question. You do the exact same thing. You use whatever resources you can, either Symbolab, Photomath, or your touch question answers or solutions, or you use this textbook solution, right? You've got those solutions, you get it. Then you're gonna come across a question which will take you like a little extra time, maybe like 20 minutes, and you still don't know how to do this question. Use the app. Use the tutorial questions solutions. If still you can't find how, you don't understand how, because it happens, you don't understand still how is this happening, how is it working, skip that question. what you want to do is you want to take a brand new sheet of paper. You want to take a sheet of paper you've never used before, right? You want to take a clean sheet of paper, because that question, that problem question, those are the problem questions we need. Those problem questions are the ones which are gonna determine whether or not you do well in mathematics. All right, those are the ones which are gonna determine whether you pass this module or not. So you're gonna take this clean sheet of paper and you're gonna write at the top, problem questions. And then once you write down problem question, you're going to write the equation there, and you're going to write where you found it in the textbook, whatever resource that you were using to look for the question, right? And you can even write out the steps which you saw but you don't understand, right? That's a question you don't understand. Once you do that, put this paper aside and go back to doing other questions and repeat the process until you're done, right? Let's say by the time you're done, because you've been using Symbolab, now maybe you've been able to do 7 out of the 10 questions. You understand 7 out of the 10 questions, and there are 3 questions which you really don't know how to do, regardless of using all of these resources. You're gonna stick them on your wall, right? You're gonna stick this list of problem questions on your wall, and you're gonna look at it frequently and try to figure out what was I doing wrong as often as you can throughout the day. And it doesn't have to be in that study session. You can go eat and talk to your friends. When you come back into your room, you look at the wall and you be like, maybe you can try it again. If you can't, take it to a friend. We've all got that one smart friend who just loves solving questions, all right? You take it to your friend and you tell them, I can't figure this out. And then they will try to help you. If they can't, you take it to your lecturer and you tell them, I can't figure this out. And you take it to whoever you can. If you do that, I promise you, you will find the answer to that question. And do it. Do your corrections. Don't just look at someone's solution and be like, okay, I now know how to do it. No, go and redo it by yourself, all right? If you do this and you do it every day, you practice the questions every day after having learned the concept, and you repeat this process whenever you don't understand the question, I promise you, you are actually going to do really well in mathematics. And I wish I had done this from the start, but better late than never. And even if you haven't been doing this, better late than never. Just start now. And I guarantee you, you're going to do well if you put in this effort and you do the practice. And remember, practice is different from learning the concept. Learning the concept and practicing it, those are totally different things. You have to make sure you first know the concept and then you practice it as much as possible. You practice the same concept on as many questions as you can. So my rule is do 10 questions out of your textbook, 10 questions out of some past paper questions, and then do all your prescribed questions. And then do all the prescribed questions, as in all the homework questions that you've been given, all the tutorial questions that you've been given, all of the questions that you're given by your teacher. Do that, and you should have a good starting baseline or a firm foundation. And if you if you want, you can just, if you say that's too easy for me, then just double it. Do 20 questions from past papers, 20 questions from the textbook, and just practice as much as possible. So put away that phone and get to work.